Good morning. Welcome to Hood Champion Boxing and Sports. In boxing, you find a way to win, or you find a way to lose. Also in boxing, find yourself involved with Fast Eddie Hearn, and he'll talk circles around you, have your damn head spinning, and have you thinking that you being in a pay-per-view event that he's going to put on in the States is where you're going to make gazillions of dollars, which I just don't think is true. Now, that being said, my question is, and I think it's a fair question, how did Eddie Hearn sell Haney and Regis program on a pay-per-view event in the States? Now, let's understand something. Eddie Hearn had gone on record, and he said pay-per-view is dead. He slammed Showtime, he slammed Ellerby, he slammed everybody who was involved with putting on pay-per-view events. When he first came out, him, $1 billion budget, the zone, that's what he did. Now we know Eddie Hearn's a talker. He's supposed to say those things. So, I mean, I don't fault him. I just think it's interesting that we're at this position now where he's looking to put a pay-per-view event on for Devin Haney and Regis program. Now, the thing is, this is the issue. Haney and program want a whole lot of money. Let me tell y'all something. Eddie Hearn said something when he first started mentioning how pay-per-view is being dead, where I think he was right. On this price point of pay-per-view, this $84, $90, $100, right? You can't just put any two fighters in the ring and try to market it at an $84, $90, $100 price point. You just can't do it. Eddie Hearn was right about that. There's exceptions to the rule. Like when you had Mayweather-Pacquiao, that was exception to the rule. That first and maybe second, Tyson Fury-Wilder. Back in the day when you got like the Trinidad De La Hoyas getting in the ring. Even getting the crossover, Mayweather and McGregor. Those things, you can kind of understand in a one-off situation, paying $80+. But when you talk about crap that we saw like Spence Garcia, and even now, Regis program, Devin Haney, my question is, what's going to be the price point? Regis wants 15 million. Haney wants 20 million. Let me tell y'all something. I think it's going to flop. But what this does, right? I think, man, I don't want to be negative. I definitely don't want to take it to the stupid, so I'm going to hold my horses. I think Eddie Hearn realizes, right? This has been going on for a while, people. Pay attention. Eddie Hearn, for a couple of years now, if you notice, he's been shedding the fat. And what I mean is the Demetrius Andres, the Tevin Farmers, the Jesse Vargases. He's been shedding the fat, getting rid of fighters. And there's a lot of UK fighters where he's got rid of them. Yeah, as of recent, he got rid of Zhili Zhang after he lost to Hergovic because he felt like, hey, he wasn't worth the investment. I'm not going to keep losing money because I don't care what no one says. I think Eddie Hearn lost a lot of money over the last few years. But that being said, he's not going to sit here and put on a fight with Regis Prograis and Devin Haney and give them the kind of guarantees that they would want, right? Because he's not in the business to lose money. So he's more or less, in my opinion, approaching this like, hey, how about this? I give you guys both $500,000 each, or whatever. Haney maybe get $1 million, Regis get a $500,000 guarantee, something like that. I don't know. I'm just having a conversation, and then say, hey, with the live gate, you figure that's another $1 million for each of you guys, and then with the pay-per-view sales, that's where you guys can make your bread and butter. That way, Eddie Hearn, it's pretty much guaranteed to make his money back. And as far as the fighters getting the money that they desire, well, that's going to be totally up to the pay-per-view sales. Now, I think that's smart for Eddie Hearn, but I think that's foul at the same time. And I definitely wonder because I'm not the fly on the wall. I'm not privy to those conversations, those negotiations. I don't know how Devin Haney and Regis Prograis were convinced that this was the right approach to making a fight. Now we know there's a lot of money that these guys want, but I just don't think it's on the table for this fight. I don't. And even Eddie Hearn, what you can see with this, he's always talking about the business model. You know what I'm saying? The pay scale, the pay model. He's like, the only way they was able to get this fight done on December 9th was to do it on pay-per-view. And he foot stomped out, and he didn't even say it. It wasn't pleasant about it. It was more like, hey, they want a lot of money. And the only way we can get close to what they want is he basically had to sell them on, hey, well, let's go to pay-per-view route. Now, I'm just not so sure it works out, man. Now, Haney gonna bubble up, right? He's only 24 years old. In case you didn't know, he's undisputed lightweight champion, right? Look, he's gonna bubble up to 140 and take on Regis Prograis. But if Haney was making millions with Top Rank, good money against Top Rank. I mean, with Top Rank, right? Makes you wonder if Eddie Hearn can really match that. We got to understand, Devin Haney and Regis Prograis, there's no 8, 10, 15, $20 million on the table like when Haney went over there and fought Kambosos. Haney made, good money in the first fight, real good money in the second fight. Kambosos killed it both fights. But you know why, right? Because you got a whole damn country behind one of the fighters. And they came out and supported the site fees, everything. The money was there for that fight. Haney coming out here to fight Regis Prograis in the States, I just don't think it's there. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm rooting for these guys, but I think it's going to be a situation like what we saw with Deontay Wilder when he came and fought Helenius on pay-per-view. And the man didn't even do 77,000 pay-per-view buys. That's the rumor. Now, Deontay Wilder says he gets guarantees. My understanding is his guarantees are like $20 million no matter what. But you can't make me believe that Al Heyman, Showtime, that there's any promoter or any network that's just going to give him a $20 million guarantee knowing they're not even making $3 million on the fight. A $17 million loss, and they're going to be okay with that. Networks, promoters are not in the business of losing money, so I find it hard to believe. That being said, Eddie Hearn, like I said in the beginning, I just said just now, not in the business of losing money. You think you're going to sit here and roll the dice with these two? Nah, he's going to say, hey, he going to do them like they did Deontay Wilder. Yeah, you can make 40, 50, 60 million. We go to pay-per-view route. And got them both thinking that, in their minds, this is a big fight. I'm going to tell you what, to the diehard boxing fan, this is a big fight. It's a big fight to me. But this isn't something that gets the public's attention. This doesn't have people in barbershops talking. You know what I'm saying? That's just not what this is. And I'm just being honest with you. I want these guys to go out there and make gazillions of dollars. But I just don't see it happening. So now you got this whole thing with DAZN and the subscribers on DAZN and subscriber at DAZN. You know this stuff is so quirky, right? So check this out, right? If you didn't know, DAZN went from being like, $100 a year, man, to bubbling up to where recently it increased to $224.99 in the United States for a 12-month period. That's if you pay it all at one time. Let me tell you something. That's a lot of damn money, especially when you see that the price point for an annual subscription has doubled. Now, the thing about it, right, is for that price, fans expect to be able to watch fights like Haney versus Prograis as part of their yearly subscription. Okay? And fans should feel that way. If I'm paying $224 for a subscription, and you listen to everything Eddie Hearn said over the years, pay-per-view is dead, right? But all of a sudden now, DAZN has pay-per-view. So I gotta, wait a minute, this goes again, you're contradicting yourself, champ. You didn't hold your horses, now you're taking it to the stupid. So you know me, I like to, do my little critical analysis on the why. So why is DAZN putting fights on pay-per-view now? Well, because that $1 billion that Eddie Hearn had to spin, to grow the sport, and to boost the zone's platform in the States. It didn't work out the way he planned. There was a lot of money lost. Leonard Ellaby likes to say Eddie Hearn effed off the money. Eddie Hearn, Leonard Ellaby, he doesn't cut Eddie Hearn no damn slack, boy. Them two, I need to see them in a damn exhibition. I'd love to see the two of them get in the ring. But that being said, the idea that the zone is looking to put Haney and Prograis on a pay-per-view, right? When neither one of these guys have proven to be, like real pay-per-view fighters. I mean, they haven't beaten anybody really elite. You know what I'm saying? They're both, don't get me wrong, Regis Prograis is good, but coming after that performance against Zorrilla, where Regis Prograis was lost. He was asking his corner what he should do. Regis Prograis was lost in that fight. And then Devin Haney, people say what they want. He's not fan-friendly. He's boring. Man, Devin Haney can fight. And you know what? This extra 5 pounds, it may really help Devin Haney where he's going to be stronger and faster, like he said in one of his tweets. But we just don't know. We just don't know. And then also with Devin Haney, people felt he lost his last fight. Some people felt Regis Prograis lost his last fight. So I just think the same way Devin Haney got booed out the arena when he fought Lomachenko, the same way people are booing him right now because he didn't take the Lomachenko rematch, people are booing the fact that they're putting this fight on pay-per-view. I'm telling you, it is what it is. People just don't want to pay. And what's the sad thing? Even if it wasn't on pay-per-view, I don't think many people would watch it like they should. And that's sad. Because this is a big damn deal. But I understand if Regis would have tranquilized Zorrilla, boom, knocked him out cold, that would have had the fight hyped up. If Haney would have, I think he beat Lomachenko, but if he would have maybe been more vocal or been more dominating, you know what I'm saying, or did knock Lomachenko down or had Lomachenko stumbling the way Lomachenko had Haney stumbling in the ring, then I think it'd be more hype around it. But I tell you this, right? When they're promoting this fight, what highlights can they use from their last fight, right, to help sell this fight? That's all I'm getting at. Now, they may be able to use highlights from other fights, but in their most recent fight, what highlights can they use? That's all I'm getting at, man. Don't get me wrong. You get a good editor, he can slice and dice anything and make it look good. But I just don't think that's enough. Look, boxing is an expensive sport, man. A lot of money, a lot of things going on behind the scenes. You know what I'm saying? That's why when you understand boxing, some people think boxing is about race, then money. Man, boxing is about money, and then after money, then comes money again. And then after that, then comes money again. Then after that, then comes money again. Okay? And when you got something like this where two guys want a whole lot of money, you just have to make sure your business model is something that can work. And if not, well, then you throw it on pay-per-view, man. And ultimately, that's what's going to keep happening. I think as we go forward, is there's going to be fewer and fewer fights that we get to watch without having to pay, $40, $50, $60, $80, $100. Especially if the fighters are going to struggle if there's not a high demand. There's got to be a high demand for the fight. You know what I'm saying? And that's where if you get a high demand for a fight, it's a good chance fighters get the person as close to the person they want. But where's the demand for Haney and Prograis? You understand? If there's an extremely high demand, well, the two of them are in business, but there's no high demand for these guys. I tell you what, they're gonna have to do something to get people talking, because right now there's just not much conversation about it. You know what I mean? There's just not much. And I just think, I just don't think people want to pay the money, man. I think it's a fantastic matchup, but I just don't see people want to pay the money. We could talk about rivalry and all that other stuff. I don't know. People are still out here canceling their subscription because they got to pay this, because they're not getting what they were promised. And that's just what it boils down to. They're not getting what they were promised. But I don't know. We'll see. I'm going to watch the fight because, I'm a boxing fan, but we'll see. Devin Haney has a lot of fans. He has a lot of loyal fans. Regis has a lot of loyal fans. But I don't know. I don't even think it'll hit 250,000 in pay-per-view buys, to be honest with you. But we just have to wait and see. But I'm telling you, I'd be surprised if it does. Like Deontay Wilder did 77,000 pay-per-view buys against Haney's, right? I'd be surprised if this. I give them a little more of a chance to get up to 150,000 pay-per-view buys. That's it. Anything more than that, I'm not sure. I'm not sure it does it. But we'll see. That being said, y'all keep cool. Shout out to the veterans all 7 continents. I think Prograis and Haney are going to be frustrated. And I think Prograis is probably regretting his decision on signing with Eddie Hearn. Because Prograis was supposed to be fighting Subriel Matias over there, Matchroom, and Matias chose not to sign with Eddie Hearn. And Prograis is just in the breeze and now fight, Devin Haney, which is a good fight for him, but his career's not going the direction that I think he wanted. But at least he's active, right? That being said, y'all keep cool. I'm in the breeze.